Hello, this week in maths we're going to be recapping fractions. Now fractions are a part of a whole, okay? So for example, imagine I've got a piece of bread, alright? And I want to go and feed the ducks with my friend at the park, alright? There's two of us and there's only one piece of bread. So that we have an equal amount, I could halve it, okay? And all that means is cutting it into two equal pieces, okay? So fractions are equal parts of a whole. Now when you look at fractions and how they're written, they look like this. You've got two numbers, the numerator and the denominator. And that denominator there tells you how many equal parts you need. So looking back then at when I cut the bread in half, half means two equal parts of a whole. Now I think it's much easier to understand fractions when you can visualise what different fractions look like. So we're going to do a bit of a practical hands-on activity that will help us to see in our heads what different fractions look like. So for today's activity you need two pieces, ideally of coloured card, in different colours. So with one piece of card you need to get a ruler and measure 12 centimetres across on the bit of paper. Then mark that with a line, okay? Once you've done that, you can then get your ruler and draw from the top to the bottom along that line. So your bit of paper should look like the bit of paper on the screen, where there's a line marking out 12 centimetres across. You then need to cut along that line, okay? And once you've cut along that line, you should have two bits of paper. One bit is the bit that's 12 centimetres long, and the other bit you don't need, okay? So you can do whatever you want with the other bit of paper, but make sure you keep the paper that is 12 centimetres wide. So with that bit of paper that's 12 centimetres wide, you then need to make 4 little strips, okay? So what I did was cut along the length of a ruler, alright? You could do something like that, but make sure all your strips are still 12 centimetres wide, and you should have 4 strips in total. Okay, so now that we've cut some strips out, we're going to fill in the first part, okay? And the first bar that we're going to have on here is a hole, okay? So on this strip, I haven't done anything to it except write the word hole, W-H-O-L-E. And what I'm going to do is stick it onto the backing paper at the top. Okay, so there we go. We've got a hole stuck on. Next up, we're going to do a half. So you need to take another strip and just fold it top to bottom in half. Okay, then once you've done that, you can draw a line through the middle and cut along that line, like this. Okay, so now we've got our halves stuck on, okay, two pieces, and I've labelled each one with one half. Next up, we're going to do a third, and this one's a bit trickier, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to get the ruler back out and mark 4 centimetres in and 8 centimetres in. Then once you've done that, you can draw lines using a ruler again at those points. So you should have 2 lines there, alright? There we go, so I've drawn the lines and cut them out and stuck them onto the backing paper. And look, now we've got our thirds. Alright, last one, quarters, bit easier again this one. So to do quarters, that's 4 equal pieces. And all we need to do that is halve it, like we did for this, but then just halve it again. So fold again, trying to do that as evenly as possible. And then along the folds you can draw your lines and cut it out, then stick it to the paper so it looks like this. And there we go. So I've got my whole, halves, 2 equal parts, thirds, 3 equal parts, and quarters, 4 equal parts. Keep that and hopefully it will help you visualise fractions. It may also be helpful for you with some of the activities later on this week. Hope you have fun doing this.